Okay, so let's do this. I have decided that we are gonna build a post generator for this series of OpenAI with LLM and dotnet. So this post generator, think of it like something that can generate like tweets or toots or Mastodon or LinkedIn posts or things like that, but very short, right? 100, 200 characters. This is important because whenever we go to the unit test, we want to make sure that the LLMs generate at max 200 characters, but we know that AI is not good at math, so feel free to build something different. So I actually encourage you to try something different and share with us, but if not, I mean, you can just take this idea. So for this, we are gonna test the prompt, and usually what I do is like I just go to the free chat GPT, and this is the model 3.5. You don't need to know what it is for now. So we are gonna test the prompt. And usually in the prompts, there are many ways to do the prompts. One of them is to explain to the AI how they need to act. So in this case, we are gonna say that they are an expert in certain topics. So for example, you are a marketing expert. You are a marketing expert. And then the set of instructions that you want. So in this case, it's generate a short tweet. So let's remember that some models were trained with data that is not up to date. So a tweet, they still understand what it is, even if now it's not called Twitter anymore. And you can put something like a style. So in this case, like a sarcastic style. And then about certain topics. So for example, about the challenges of creating a viral campaign, right? Let's see. And yes, this seems something like a creator or influencer will do. So I'm pretty happy with it. So we have three pieces of data. The persona, the style of the text, and then the topic of the text. So we are gonna build this tool. You may be asking like, what is different about creating this from scratch than using just ChatGPT agents or Azure OpenAI agents? Well, the fact is that you can integrate this with other products, with your products or your own platforms. You can create an API on top of it. You can start improving it with your own examples, right? Look, feedback like, oh, I like this, I don't like this generation. So you can start like improving what it's saying. But also like we are just like learning. And at the end, you can use a non-OpenAI local environment to run this. So you don't need to use OpenAI agents. You can use like a local model that run in your machine. And of course, we are gonna just have fun. So that's why we are gonna build it. And as I said in my previous video, we are gonna do it in .NET. So if you have not installed .NET, just pause the video, go there, check how to install .NET. I won't explain that here because there are many people and official documentation that is very updated about how to do it, and they explain things better than me. So just go there, install .NET and come back. So if you already have .NET in your machine, you can know that you can run this in like in any command line utility. You will need an editor. For now, I will just open like a terminal. This is gonna be my terminal. It's gonna be like an Ubuntu and WSL in Windows, but if you run this in like VS Code, it should also run. So let's open VS Code. This is how I open it. You can see here, it opens, and then I can just open a new terminal here. The terminal depends of if you are in Windows or in Linux, it will open like a different bash. So you can open like a bash, or you can open like a PowerShell. Depending on how you install .NET is how you will be able to run this. So let's just create a new project. So I have a folder, it's called repos, and then you can just execute .NET new console post generator. So this should create a folder with .NET 8.0. Right, so it created this folder. So let's go to that folder and let's open it in VS Code. Right, so it will create like a program.cs, which is just a hello world application. So let's just run it. You will see that is like that line we created. before in .NET, usually you have these main static void arguments and a whole class. Now .NET is more linear. You don't require to do that. In the back, it is actually like the same function. You can access the arguments in the same way. So we have the hello world. So now let's add a set of packages that we are gonna use. In this case, for like OpenAI, I love to use Semantic Kernel. So let's just use Semantic Kernel, which is an abstraction over LLM projects. And I like how they abstracted the things for .NET. It is also available for other languages like Python or even Java. So now I will add another packages here. In this case, I will add dependency injection, and this is very opinionated, right? So from the beginning, I'm saying I will use dependency injection. You don't need to do it, but I have learned with the time that eventually you will need it. So I will do it right from the beginning. I will also add logging, and because this is like a command line application, we are gonna do also the console logging. So Microsoft Extensions logging provides certain ways to do logging, and we will explain what is that. But one of the ways is console, so how to show the messages into the terminal, like these ones. So again, you may argue that you don't need this from day zero, but with time and experience, each question will be answered with depends, right? And this is my opinionated way to do it. So we are gonna use logging and dependency injection. And if you don't agree, that's fine. Sometimes I'm wrong. So this is a controversial one, but I will add also system command line. So this utility will allow me to manage the arguments that we send in a command line utility or a program. You don't need it to, from the beginning. If you just are passing 1 or 2 arguments, that's fine. But I have learned with time that it is not true. You will get 10 arguments and you will want to add more, and eventually you need to refactor to actually do it right. So let's just run .NET build just to check that it actually builds. And we still have the same hello world application, just with a bunch of programs. So let's see, the only thing that it changed is now in this project, I have this package reference. So anytime that I install or I build, it will just look for these package references and check if these versions are installed or not. You have noticed that system command line, it is not released. So that's why in that case, we added the pre-release flag, right? So now with the fun, remember that we have 3 parameters. So those are the 3 parameters that we are gonna add to our command line application. So let's do it. So we open the program CS. We're gonna remove this hello world and everything, and we're gonna add 2 namespaces. The first one is system command line parsing, and the second one is the command line. Now we are gonna set 3 options, right? So the first one is the persona option. So this is a new option, and this is a string. You have noticed that I have Copilot, so I can just do this and it will just auto complete. In this case, this is gonna be required, and Copilot is pretty good to remember what I'm doing before. So most likely the next generation is gonna be the same as with is required, right? And then it actually just suggests me a new one. I don't know if it's something that we want, but in this case we are gonna get the style option, right? Now we are gonna add the root command, right? So the root command is just whenever we are gonna execute this command line utility, is the command that will contain others, right? And in this case, and it will be more easy to understand once that we run this. So we are gonna add a new command and new action, which is gonna be the create post one. So create post, this is the one that will generate the post from OpenAI. And for the create post, we are gonna add the options persona, style, and topic. So those are required for this command, right? So topic and style. Now we need to add the command, the create post to the root one. So let's do it. And yeah, and that's it. So fun fact, you don't need to do this add option, but if you don't do it, it will work, but it won't take in consideration this is required. That's a nasty bug there that I learned with the time. Right, so like let's just finally execute the root command. So for that we're gonna do like invoke arguments, and again we don't have like the static main void that you have seen in other languages and even in .NET, but we are referencing this args variable because that already exists. And then we are just gonna return the result. You will say to who? Well, to the main that you don't see here, and let's just test it, right? So let's just run it. So for now, we are not using all the packages that we added. We are just using the system command line. Right, so required command is not provided, but you can see here that we have a nice description. System command line already adds the help, the commands. So if, for example, I want to execute the post, and this is how you pass arguments to the .NET run. Not to the .NET run, but to the actual command line utility that you are building. You can see that now it requires this persona, topic, and style, and you can just provide those in any way that you want. Like you can provide, it doesn't need to be in the same order. So you can provide here the topic, viral campaign. You can provide the style, sarcastic, and the persona, right? Marketing, and it should work. So we get just a blank response, and this is because we don't have a handler for the command. So let's just add one handler for the create post command. So let's just set a handler. In this case, we can use a lambda function. A lambda function is a function that doesn't have a name. It is just there. It is mostly using TypeScript and those languages, but in .NET also exists. We need to define the three arguments: persona, topic, option. It doesn't matter the order that you are putting those, but it matters that it matches the order of the options that you are providing here to the set handler, right? So fun fact, the set handler only can get up to 10 arguments, so more than 10 arguments is not gonna work. So the console write line, and then for now we are just gonna throw an exception, not implemented exception, and that's it. Let's test it. No, actually I have a typo. It's not implemented, right? So I wrote note implement is no implemented exception. Right, so cool. Now we get the message, sarcastic marketing and viral campaign, that we inject in the command line arguments, and then we see the exception. So that's today. We created a command line utility that does nothing, but just keep posted. In the next videos we're gonna build on top of this.